I want to present a project I've been working on. It's called Stack on Cloud. It's basically a backend as a service, better said. Currently, I implemented a managed Postgres database functionality and also OpenAPI generation based on the tables that you define in the databases. I have plans to add lots of other features, of course, but yeah, it takes time. It's currently free. You can have a project, one database, some storage, some tables, some requests. Okay, and I want to show you how exactly it works. So I have my dashboard here. I created my test project. For example, I have in my test project one database and one API key. And in my database, I have, let me see, I have no data. And in my database, I also have a table called form submission with this structure. I have an email field, which is text. I have an ID field, which is an integer auto-incremented, and it's a primary key as well. And I have a field called name. And for this whole database, so including my test table, I can generate automatically based on a definition OpenAPI specifications. So as you see, it generated a get endpoint for my data, which I can use to filter the data from the table. I have a post endpoint which I can use to add data to the tables. For example, the payload structure will look like this. I have an email and a name field. I have a get by ID functionality. The ID would be the primary key. So yeah, in my case would be the ID. I have a put functionality to update data in the table and also delete, which you can use to delete data. Here I can use this download JSON functionality which will download the OpenAPI schema. I already downloaded it and it looks like something like this. Yeah, it's a long JSON file with the API definition basically. I also have an example on how to use this in GitHub. I have here the example with some quick setup instructions that you can go through to implement this on your application. But let's say I downloaded the spec from Stack on Cloud, then I need some packages on for example, in my frontend application, which I want to implement I want to implement this. I want to implement the fact that when a user wants to contact me, they will fill out this form and the data would get into the form submission table, which is currently empty. So yeah, I downloaded the spec. I need to configure my my OpenAPI generation. So I need some dependencies. This OpenAPI generator, CLI. I need Axios as well, and .env for the API key is in my env file. I just run I did this helper script to generate my OpenAPI client based on the specification. Just need to press this. It will generate, yeah, in here in lib. I have an API, and yeah, the library, the API is being generated. For example, I have the create form submission, which I want to use. You don't need to care about the other stuff. You just need to use this functionality. In my model that is rendered here, I just call a new endpoint that that runs on the server side in this application, which is this one. Exposes a post endpoint which requires an email, a name and an email. I have the configuration in which I load my API key from the environment variables, and then I just call the form submission API with the payload data, and theoretically the data should arrive in my table on Stack on Cloud. Let's just try it. So test one and test email@email.com. thank you. We'll be in touch. But theoretically, I should have the data here, and here it is. My email and my test one name. To get some insights on the project, please go to Stack on Cloud, stackon.cloud. You'll have an overview of the project and also my plans for it. I want to add some cache in the future. I want to add an API gateway maybe at some point in the future. Currently, it's free. I have this free tier. I have some documentation, but keep in mind it's a work in progress. For a reference example, you can just go to the GitHub and you have the docs project here, and it gives you, and you have the example project right here. It tells you how to use to make sure you use the M file API key. Didn't tell you about the API key. The API key, you can go to the projects, API keys, you can get a new API key, test22, and you'll have it here. It will be displayed only once, so make sure that after you copy it, you don't lose it. I will delete this so that people don't mess with my data, but this is basically it. Keep in mind that it's a work in progress. I want to add more features to it in the future. I would love some feedback. Actually, that would be great because currently I'm the only user. uh, Maybe you can sign up for the newsletter to receive some updates when I release a new feature. Till then, thank you very much. If I add some new functionality, I will create a new video for it. But keep in mind, thank you very much for your time and looking forward for some feedback.